Okay, we're live. We are finally live. Yes, people, you're watching MTAC TV, and I'm Srini, of course. I'm joined by my boys Kabir, Amog, and of course Aditya in the building. By the way, guys, we've changed the channel name to MTAC TV. So if you type MTAC TV and you see TAC TV come up, and you'll see that little thing that YouTube does where it says, did you mean MTAC TV? Click that and you'll find us. We've changed our name. So glad I got that out of the way. But anyway, some of the lineups are out, some of them are not. It's a very weird situation. Someone's probably going to lose their job. But anyway, let's first look at the big game of the night, which is, of course, between Bayern and Paris Saint-Germain. Bayern's lineup is out, of course, and it has, and I'm reading it off a sheet before you guys think, why am I looking there? Manuel Neuer in defense. Sorry, God, I messed up already. Manuel Neuer in between the sticks. Benjamin Pavard playing as a right back. Luca Hernandez, of course, starting as the left back. Nicolas Sula and David Alaba in the central defense. You have Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka making up the midfield. On the wings, of course, you have Kingsley Coman, you have Leroy Sané, and in the 10 you have Thomas Muller. And up front, of course, Choupo-Moting starts to give PSG the nightmares that they will get off one of Europe's most elite strikers. PSG's lineup is not out, guys, so it's a very weird situation. If you guys find the lineup, please drop it in the comments below because I don't want to I don't want to say something that isn't true. But of course, Chelsea's lineup is out as well. So I'm going to skip that for a second. Or it is out apparently. I'm reading this off a WhatsApp chat. Don't crucify me. Of course, Eduard Mendy starts. Aspilicueta, Christensen, and Rudiger making up the defense. Reece James playing as a right wing back as per usual. Ben Chilwell starting, which is interesting. Jorginho and Mateo Kovacic in midfield, and Mount and Werner behind probably Kai Havertz. So that's quite an interesting lineup. And I'll read Porto's lineup as well, even though I know none of you guys care. It's Marquesin. If I'm pronouncing his name right, I don't even know. I couldn't care less, honestly. Manafa, Mbemba, Pepe, Zaidu, Marco Grujic. This is a mess. Uribe, Otavio, Teta, Tito, Luis Diaz Marega. Yeah, I have no idea, I'll be honest. Anyway, let's not waste any more time, guys. The PSG lineup, when it comes out, it'll come out. But let's discuss the game first. Of course, I'll go to Kabir for this one first. Bayern have two major losses in this game. They don't have the best striker in the world, and of course, Robert Lewandowski. They don't have arguably the best winger in the world in Serge Gnabry. So, first of all, what do you make of those losses, and do you think it really affects Bayern tonight?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It goes without saying, if you're missing Robert Lewandowski, you're missing arguably the best player in the world, definitely the most potent striker in the world. So that's got to be a big miss. And then Serge Gnabry as well. It's been a bit of an up and down season for him after he exploded onto the scene last year. But he's still a big miss. And I'm not sure if I heard Alphonso Davies in your lineup. What's the deal with him?
Well, I don't know what the deal with him is, to be honest. I hope he's not injured or something like that. He did have a bad injury at the start of the season, so I'm not particularly sure, honestly.
Yeah,
I'll check. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, that again is a big miss for them because not just are they missing Alphonso Davies, they've brought in someone like Luca Hernandez, who we know from the past it's not really worked out for him at Bayern as we thought it would. He came as a World Cup winner, big reputation, big price tag from Atleti, and he's not Hansi Flick's first choice left back either. So that's another big miss. And I'm not really sure, but I think that once the PSG lineups come out, I think we might see Mbappe on the right. We will definitely see him in periods on the right. So it'll be very interesting to see if Hernandez can put some of that application from France training to use.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, as you said, right on cue, Avichal the savior, dropping the PSG lineup in the comments. Of course, Keylor Navas starts in between the sticks. You have Colin Dagba starting. That's a major surprise. You have Marquinhos and Presnel Kimpembe making up the center of defense. Abdou Diallo starting as a left back. Wow, that is a big surprise right there. Idris Gana Gueye starting in midfield, of course, alongside Danilo Pereira. Wow, that is super defensive and uninspiring, let's be honest. Where's Leandro Paredes, by the way? That's quite odd. Of course, anyway, Angel Di Maria and Julian Draxler starting. This lineup is a mess. I'm not even going to lie. This lineup is an absolute mess. And of course, Neymar and Mbappe up top. Probably, I don't even know. I'm not the biggest fan of that lineup. I'll go to Aditya for this one because, of course, his team is the one that got knocked out by Paris Saint-Germain. What do you make of that lineup? A couple of surprises there. Dagba is a surprise for sure. Abdou Diallo has never been great at left back, even at Borussia Dortmund, if you can remember. So, yeah, what do you make of that? No Marco Verratti in this team as well, so it isn't as perfect as PSG would have wanted it to be. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think that they've gone with a defensive, like two defensive mids because it's mainly because Bayern press so well.
Yeah,
Danilo Pereira is really good under pressure. He can recycle that possession back to his defense. I'm a bit
right.
surprised about Colin Dagba, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't really rate him. People know that. And Diallo, if you see, he had a good game against Barca. He came on in the second half, I believe, and he had a
yeah.
pretty good game. He had a lot of control over the game on the left side. He didn't let Griezmann come up front a lot. So I think they're going for a similar tactic over here to stop. Who's on left wing? I think it's Coman, right? For
Yeah.
Bayern.
I actually think it'll be Sane. I don't. It depends actually. In some
Okay, yeah.
games he plays Sane. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so I think they're going for the same thing to try and stop Sane coming up. I think that's the main reason Diallo is starting. And I think they're
Yeah.
going for a 4-2-3-1. I think Draxler might be the one in behind, Neymar on the left, Di Maria on the right, and Mbappe up front. That's what I'm like. I don't know what that exactly is, but I'm thinking that's the lineup.
Fair points, man. Really good points made. As Manav in the comments mentioned, Ronaldo 123 rocks, who, if you guys know, is an absolute legend in the comments. He's always the first commenter. He asked Ritvik, Adibir कहाँ है आज? Well, Ritvik को अपना project करना है जो सुबह due है, so that's the reason why he's not here. Adibir also has some work, and it doesn't matter. We have a big team, so anyone can join. We have Manchester City's depth, so yeah, a couple of elite ballers on the show tonight, of course. Udit Vikram Bisan Singh, Aditya Sir, PSG without Neymar easily thrashed Barca. Now Mbappe and Neymar up front in no 11 goals. Key and Gnabry, easy win for PSG incoming. I think we'll get to that honestly, but at the minute we want to look at both teams. So Amog, I'll go to you for this one. You've seen the lineups again. Initial thoughts on the lineups and just the two teams as well. I know you famously predicted a PSG win even before the Lewandowski injury and the Serge Gnabry injury. So, what do you make of both the sides?
You're asking me about the Bayern PSG game, or you're asking me about the Chelsea Porto game?
I'm not asking you about the Chelsea Porto game. I'll show you that. So,
Oh,
what do you think
okay.
of the Bayern PSG
Well,
lineup?
I think for sure both PSG and Bayern, I think, are playing the same formation today. They're both playing, I think, a 4-2-3-1, I think, or 4-3-2-1. And honestly, it's good to see Bayern going for the squad that they've had for the majority of the campaign, whereas you see PSG with some risks in the squad. Like, I would definitely prefer Thilo Kehrer in the defense. He's definitely a much more stronger defender, and
Okay.
yeah, I think that Alphonso Davies missing out seems a bit of a it's a little bit surprising to me. Although Hernandez has been good, uh, at least in the knockouts, I would definitely put a pacey left back just to see just to test PSG. And
Yeah.
yeah, overall, I think Choupo-Moting is facing his former side, so that'll be an interesting take. But finally, we get to
Yeah.
see Neymar also playing back again, so it'll be good to see a good combination between the front line, and a bit surprising that again Paredes and Sarabia are not starting today.
Yeah, good points made from you as well. I mean, personally speaking, I think Alfonso Davies is on the bench, by the way. So I did check that. I think Bayern's defense haven't been the best this season. I mean, last season Jerome Boateng was brilliant. David Alaba was arguably even the best centre half on the planet. This season we haven't seen the same at all, and I think they've done this in a lot of Bundesliga games as well, where they tend to play Luka Hernandez because he offers a more defensive approach. Even though, of course, Alfonso Davies is blessed as an athlete, he has all the recovery pace in the world. When you're playing alongside Mbappe and Neymar, who are arguably two of the most lethal attacking players on the planet, I don't think you can take any risk. So I do understand that from a defensive point of view for sure. Just because Nicholas Suler does not have the greatest pace in the world, even though he's a very talented centre half. So there's that. But apart from that, I think the injuries will definitely affect them. I think missing Robert Lewandowski, I still thought that they have enough players in that system to hurt PSG, but then losing Serge Gnabry, that's a bit of a blow. The only good thing is that Kingsley Coman is having a great season, and Leroy Sané, he could be in the worst form of his life, but he's one player who really lives for the big games. I mean, Kabir would know that as a Liverpool fan. He's someone who used to ruin Liverpool over and over again, and he's done that so many times in England, and he's capable of doing that for Bayern as well. So I think that sort of is a great thing because they have such excellent strength in depth. From a Paris point of view, again, you never know what side of PSG you'll see. I think missing Marco Verratti is a huge blow. And the reason why I say that is because you saw that in the second leg. If Messi scores his penalty, if Ousmane Dembele doesn't finish like Ricky Van Sprinkle, I think a La Remontada was on the cards again. So I don't know what side of PSG you see. And then you take that and you combine that with the fact that they've been doing so poorly in Ligue 1 as well. Again, it's a very complicated tie to call, kind of similar to Real Madrid Liverpool, but I think it's even tougher. Even though it may be the round, the sort of the tie of the round, but again, the injuries have sort of made sure that we're quite confused. But anyway, let's move on from that, guys. If you guys had to pick one key player from each team, and let's not do the same Mbappe, Neymar, of course, Kabir could, but I'm just saying, if you guys had to pinpoint at one key player who needs to step up tonight, who would you go for? I'll start with Kabir.
Yeah, so I mean, I was gonna go for Neymar, but I think I'll leave that to Aditya.
No, you
or
can.
someone else.
You can.
No, it's fine. I think I'm gonna go for a hipster-ish kind of pick because I'm gonna talk about Idrissa Gana Gueye. I think he's someone, when he came to PSG a couple of seasons ago, he was seen as like this not very PSG-esque signing. They've had that sort of philosophy where they've signed like big names, and he was sort of someone who went under the radar. He started last season well, but then he sort of fell away towards the latter stages of the season, and Herrera took over his place a little bit. But I think one reason why he's playing today, and especially alongside Danilo Pereira, is to provide some insurance to the PSG fullbacks. I think Diallo and Dagba, it is. It's even hard to remember them because I can't say that I've seen Diallo and Dagba play a lot together or anything like that. But yeah, so I think he's going to have a massive game, and especially he will be crossing his path with Muller a lot. I think they're going to be playing in the similar parts of the pitch. And we know that without Lewandowski, Muller will be sort of the main man in attack somewhat for Bayern. So it'll be interesting to see how well he can shackle him. And if he does that, he could very well settle the game for PSG.
And yes, perfect points made from you there. From a Bayern perspective, if you had to go for someone, who would you go for?
Again, I'd go for Thomas Muller because we're looking. I mean, last season we saw a renaissance of him. Not just him, we saw Jerome Boateng, Alaba, the guys that you mentioned before. The seniors who really stepped up. But Muller is like the main guy for them, and he's been around the block for so long with Germany, with Bayern. I mean, his experience and trophy haul speaks for itself, really. So he's going to have to step up massively, I think, because and it'll be interesting to see what his dynamic is with Choupo-Moting. He might not really know, they might not be on the same page a lot, so he might have to take a bit more responsibility himself. He might have to take a few more shots on goal himself, which we don't really see from him. So I guess that's my guy.
I'll be honest. I mean, when you mention Choupo-Moting, I can't stop laughing because it's honestly a bit of a meme signing. Let's be honest. Like Choupo-Moting from Stoke to Bayern and PSG, of course.
You know what I'm remembering ever since his name has been taken in this live. There's this clip. I don't know if you guys have seen it when he was at PSG, where Mbappe sort of rounds the keeper and he chips him, and it's about to go in, and it's literally 2 yards out.
Man.
Choupo-Moting comes and he tries some weird back heel, and so I'm guessing that PSG will be hoping that Choupo-Moting turns up again today.
Yeah.
Not only misses his own chances, but he denies clear goals.
100%. I mean, I'm not going to make any big outlandish statements tonight because yesterday I said that Trent will eat Vinicius up for dinner, and Vinicius is not really a Brazilian. He's a Peruvian. He has a fake passport, and I looked like a clown last night, so I don't want to do that again. But anyway, Aditya, I'm going to go to you for this one. Of course, Kabir went for who did you go for again? You went for Idris Gana Gay, and who did you go for Bayern? Thomas Muller, right? So
Muller,
if you
yeah.
had to pick someone else, because of course we shouldn't go for the same picks, otherwise people watching will get really bored. Who would you go for?
For Bayern, I would go for Alaba because obviously
Okay.
we all know how pacey PSG's attack is, and plus he's starting alongside Nicholas Süle. And from like you watch Süle play, he's slower than Mertesacker. He's
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just looking forward to seeing Nicholas Süle go up against the space of Neymar and Mbappe. So that pace that Alaba has, that's going to be really important because I think they're going to ping a lot of balls behind the back line.
Yeah.
That's been one of Bayern's main problems. We saw that even in the thrashing, 8-2 thrashing last season, we saw how many balls they were conceding behind the line.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think that's what PSG are going to do. That's why I think they've gone with a double pivot so that they can just hold play up a little bit and go for the long balls. So
Fair
I
enough.
think
And yeah, sorry, go on.
that's why Alaba is my player to watch out for Bayern.
Okay. And what about PSG? Who do you go for?
For PSG,
Go for
I
Neymar. It's cool. Go for Mbappe. It's cool. I
no,
won't feel bad.
I actually want to go for a weird one. It's Diallo.
Diallo, Jesus, go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
because
for it.
if
Go
he
for it.
performs well, he's going to pocket Di Maria on the right.
Okay.
Sane on the right.
Okay.
Sane
Fair enough.
or whoever plays because it's always like they keep switching wings.
Yeah. Fair
That's
enough,
going to
man.
be one of the key points that will define the game today for me.
Yeah.
So I am going for Diallo.
Diallo and I mean, I can't believe we've gone for Diallo and Idrissa Gueye. That proves that we know ball. We could have gone for Mbappe and Neymar, said the same old rubbish, and we could have gotten away with it. I probably will, but anyway, let's move on from that. Amog, again, same question to you, bro. Bayern, PSG, pick one player.
So I think that Leon Goretzka from Bayern will impact the game. He's been in the form of his life this season and the last, and he'd had a great performance against Leipzig. Uh,
Yeah.
and he's played a number of positions in that midfield. Like if you see his heat map, he's been holding at times, but he's also a ball carrier when he goes up. And it'll be exciting to see him. Like again, Bayern is playing as well a double pivot as it looks. So it's Kimmich and Goretzka. But I'm really excited to see if he can provide that attacking threat that he has in the last couple of weeks in his performances that he's really excelled at. And for me,
Yeah.
I think with PSG, I'm gonna go for Julian Draxler because
Oh, Lord. Oh,
see we've
Lord.
talked about
Julian Draxler. Go
Mbappe,
for
we've
it.
talked
Go
about
for it.
Neymar. Di Maria, I love Di Maria. He's a great controller of the ball. He knows how to pass, but I just want to see Draxler play a really good Champions League game. Like he used to be so good at Schalke,
Oh,
okay,
man.
and like I mean, there were so many rumors that
Unbelievable.
he'd go to Arsenal and he'd perform, and Wenger was all after him. But like, we haven't seen the best of Julian Draxler. Okay, I would love to see him step up in this game, and so I firmly believe that he could just about increase
Uh,
those goals or assist in his contributions and maybe provide the threat of link up play between Mbappe and Neymar. So it's a little wild that I'm going with Draxler, but the Goretzka one I think is a safe but good pick.
oh man, guys. I'm trying to be professional and all of that, but Jesus Christ, what is going on? Julian Draxler. Who is Julian Draxler?
I think
Okay,
one of
now
us will get
back.
it right. I think one of us will
Yeah,
get it right because there's always these
I,
left field ballers turning up in these big games.
Yeah, and then they become these weird stories. Oh, Julian Draxler used to live in a shoebox, and now he scored a
Athletic,
hat trick in the
athletic
Champions
article.
League. Yeah, it's always this amazing, beautiful story, and then everyone starts to suddenly care about Julian Draxler. Anyway, he's probably going to score a hat trick now that I've said that. I really like the Goretzka shout though. I was gonna go for that, but fair enough, it doesn't matter. I'll actually I'll go for Leroy Sané actually. So I know
All
Leroy Sané.
City, huh?
No, no, not all City. The thing is, I know Leroy Sané's game very, very well, and yeah, I mean, it is a City thing in the sense that I've always been a bigger Leroy Sané fan than a Sterling fan. He's sensational on his day. Again, a big game player, as I mentioned. He scored a stunning goal against Borussia Dortmund in the first, not leg, but first sort of tie that they had in the Bundesliga as well. Against just so quick, and I know that whether he plays on the right or the left, I'd probably play him on the left to sort of target Colin Dagba because I think Abdou Diallo has a lot of pace. Doesn't have Leroy Sané pace, but Colin Dagba would really struggle. I mean, Leroy Sané is not just quick. Leroy Sané has athleticism in his genes. His dad used to I think his dad was an athlete for Cameroon. I think his mother was the same. I think she was a football player. I might be getting them mixed up. But anyway, Leroy Sané's pace, just how direct he is, the fact that he's one of the only players I've seen who actually uses his entire body to dribble past you. He has quite an odd technique, but it's beautiful to watch. So yeah, I think Leroy Sané, if he steps up, there's not many big game players that are bigger than Leroy Sané when he steps up. I think people are forgetting that he is on that generational talent sort of line, even though I mean, that term needs to be in the bin. But anyway, Leroy Sané could cause Colin Dagba a lot of problems. I don't rate Colin Dagba at all. Let's be honest, we've not seen enough of Colin Dagba. If the football hipster think we're overdoing it, honestly. But for PSG, again, my favorite PSG player is not playing, and that's Marco Verratti. If Marco Verratti was playing, I'd actually pretty confidently say that PSG would win. So there's no one that's going to dominate in that midfield. Again, I don't rate Danilo Pereira enough to say that Danilo Pereira is important. So who should I go for? You know what? I'll just go for Mbappe because I'm sick of this whole football hipster thing. I'm going to go for Mbappe. The only thing I'm scared about is the fact that I don't love Mbappe as a number 9. That's the only thing. And something that I've noticed, and it's not even a hot take, it's just an observation. Please educate me if you guys think that I'm wrong. I just think when Neymar sort of hogs the ball, playing in that sort of number 10 role, I just feel Mbappe is sort of lost. The only thing he sort of has to or wants to do is make those runs in behind. And I think you saw that against Barca that Mbappe is fantastic when he gets to sort of roam a little and actually get on the ball as well because he's so direct and lethal. So I hope Neymar's presence does not make sure that we don't see that side. Because if Mbappe is allowed to do what he's supposed to do, I think he'll win the game for PSG. No question in my mind. But if he isn't, then he just looks a little ordinary because Neymar has so much of the ball and he can be a little impractical because he's so showboaty. But if Mbappe has the game of his life, I don't think fans defense have any chance. So that's my honest take. Guys, prediction time. By the way, a more news flash. We're going to cover the Chelsea photo game for a good 5 minutes. But anyway, prediction time, guys, and let me know who your scorers are. Kavir, I'm going to go to you. Actually, I'll take a couple of the comments before I do that.
Yeah.
Very, very professional of me. Udit in the comments saying, Di Maria will score the winner today. Udit, I want to ask you something, man. Why do you use that yawn emoji at the end of every comment? Is that like a signature thing or is that like, I don't know what that is, but I see that in like every comment. Udit also saying, I don't think PSG need to do something like Man City. Money emoji. Wow, that's very original. Considering missing players for Bayern, I mean, City beat Borussia Dortmund fair and square. Blame the referee for being a referee. Manav Kohli saying good points made at Aditya. Yeah, Aditya's analysis was on point. Udit saying Chelsea go win. Oh, sorry, Chelsea are going to win. I want to see a Real versus Chelsea semi-final. Yeah, I think that's pretty likely unless Porto do what they do with Juve. Udit saying Sane will score the winner today. I think that's possible if you think Sane, will win the game for Bayern. Manav Kohli in the comments saying Kimmich, and he puts the muscle emoji next to his name. I would have gone for Kimmich to sort of be my MVP, but I just think Bayern will boss that midfield, so he doesn't have to be the MVP. Rishikesh Amin saying Schalke, Wolfsburg days. Come on, man. Julian Draxler. I mean, I know he had that amazing assist for Mbappe's hat trick, but come on, let's be honest. Anamaya, who's a fellow City fan, corrects me by saying Olympic bronze medalist. Is that for Sane's dad or is that for Sane's mom? Remind me, I don't remember. I think his dad's called Suleiman Sane. I don't know why I know that. Anyway, let's move on from that, guys. Prediction time. As I said, I'll go to Kabir for this one. Tell me your score, obviously, and also tell me your scorers.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue full steam with the football hipster shouts, and I'm gonna go for a 1-0 PSG win. I think they're gonna win the tie. I think they're gonna win the tie, but I think they're gonna win tonight as well. I think it's gonna be a 1-0 PSG win, and Moise Ken will come off the bench and score. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna
I
hit the
like
goal.
that take. That's a good take.
That's a decent shout. Aditya, what about you? What do you think?
I'm going for a 1-0 win for Bayern. Alaba scores a beautiful free kick.
Okay, interesting. So another 1-0 boring 1-0 win.
Yep.
Fair
There's
enough,
four
man.
defensive-minded midfielders. Like
Yeah,
they're both playing
good
double
point.
pivots. So it just feels like they're gonna cancel each other out, and we're gonna enjoy a snooze fest. I might not even be awake for the Moise Ken win.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair shout. Amog, what do you think? Same question, bro.
I think it'll be a 1-all draw. I think PSG will hold off the Bayern, dominance. But I still see PSG as the pacey side today that will probably get that early goal in. So I think Mbappe will score, and I think Sane will score. Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't actually have a prediction, guys. I didn't think this through, but I may go for a 1-all draw as well, and Mbappe to score and Leon Goretzka to score off a corner or something like that. But I tip if Mbappe has the game of his life, they'll win. But then I just don't trust PSG enough. They're probably the team I would least bet on when it comes to the elite teams. Of course, City bottle it all the time, but still, PSG are a weird one. Anyway, it's the Chelsea. It's the tie you've been waiting for, of course. It's the Chelsea
Finally.
Porto we're going to cover. Finally, Amok, you're wearing the Chelsea kit. I mean, come on, let's not even lie. It's an amazing draw for you guys. It's a ticket in the semi-finals. I know, it may sound disrespectful to Porto, but let's be honest, Chelsea have so much quality. They have one of the best young managers on the planet. So, how are you feeling ahead of this time, man? You must be super confident.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty confident. We've got definitely a better fixture than the other opponents, but we are still playing a match away, so that'll definitely be a challenge.
Yeah,
But I think I'm just happy to see that there have been lessons learned from the West Brom game. So we've at least, I mean, there's a chance that, so I think Havertz is going to play a false nine. Either he's playing
right.
up top or he's playing reserved behind Werner. So we'll see that combination. And also, it's a relief to see Tammy Abraham back in the squad. The controversy that he's not fitting into his plans is something that annoyed me for a while, but it's good to see that he's back on the bench. And
Yeah,
obviously, after those Thiago Silva, that horror show that he had early on in the first half against West Brom, I think it was a better choice to keep Christensen, starting. And plus, I mean, with the international break and we having the earliest kickoff on Saturday, and this is the second successive time after the international break that Chelsea have got the 12:30 kickoff in the morning on afternoon on a Saturday. So you can imagine the players and their fatigue and the fitness levels. So I
You're
think
sounding a lot
what
like
we
Yogi
played,
Berra.
what we played
that's
at
what I
West
was
Brom and what we're playing now, I think is definitely a much fitter squad. We see him Kante on the bench. So yeah, he was I think not fit or he had some certain tests I guess last couple of days. So it's still a confident Jovacic pairing of those two. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm happy to see Mount, Havertz, and Werner up top. So it'll be a action-packed game. Although I feel Giroud would have been the striker that I wanted to see. Countering that Pepe solid wall that he
Yeah,
is. That would have been an exciting watch, and who knows that might
Right.
happen in the second half if Giroud is a super sub or something. But yeah, we should never underestimate Portuguese opposition beating Juventus. So there's, I mean, the Chelsea fan base is toxic, and we seem to have the confidence all the time, but we should definitely think twice while saying that this is an easy fixture. So there's definitely cautious cautiousness, by our side. So I think Tuchel will play it safe, but I think we'll try to get the early goals in. Yeah. What do you
Fair,
think?
fair, fair. I mean, what I think is that, I mean, again, you can't take. You're right. I mean, you shouldn't be disrespectful, and you shouldn't sort of dismiss Porto because it's the Champions League. We did the same thing with the Juve tie, and look what they did. I mean, personally, City played them in the group, and they're not a tough side to play, but I will say that they really get stuck in, and they're. I mean, they also made some these odd racial allegations toward Manchester City, which were false and baseless as well. So I'm not the biggest fan of Porto at the minute, but I will say that Chelsea are just clear favourites. The only thing I would say is that, and I've said this on the lives as well, I haven't yet seen Chelsea dominate a game fully, where I've watched them and I think, oh wow, okay, this is where Chelsea can go, fair enough. And I know some of those things happen due to a new manager bounce, but I've not seen that happen. Chelsea have had amazing results. Their defensive record has been fantastic. Of course, they beat Atletico Madrid, fair enough. I'm not taking away any credit from them, but I'm just saying that it's a little odd that I haven't seen a proper fluent performance. And I think you would agree with me as well. I've
You know,
seen
I think that in a
sorry,
way, there's like a bit of a like I would agree, but also disagree with your points. Like I think that
okay.
Chelsea, in terms of tactical dominance, have been quite superior in their unbeaten streak. But yeah, I mean, I get the point where we're not finishing in the final third, and we're not creating as many chances as we would
Yeah,
want. We're not playing exciting football. I guess that is something that affects people's minds about how Chelsea is perceived. But yeah, we should see an exciting game. I mean, hopefully there's that sort of attacking prowess, on both ends of the pitch. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to see exciting, attractive football. We're not there yet, but if we get the goals in, I mean, we'll be happy.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. I'm not. I do understand that it's sort of early days under Thomas Tuchel even now, but I'm just saying that I haven't seen a fluent performance yet. But then again, your forward players haven't been the best. Timo Werner. I mean, let's be honest. That wasn't a great decision to sort of pass the ball to Mason Mount. I think Timo Werner was extremely scared and rattled, and he didn't want to go for it on his own, which is why he did that. His confidence is a shambles at the minute. Kai Havertz has shown signs, but then again, he can do so much more. Christian Pulisic is very in and out, so I think your biggest source of attacking incentive or whatever the word you want to say is probably your midfield, because I think it's Mateo Kovacic and Mason Mount who I look at for inspiration. If who I would look at as inspiration if I was a Chelsea fan. So that's my personal take. But again, I think it should be relatively easy. Kabir, I want to ask you this. Of course, you watched the amazing game against West Brom, which was just outstanding. One of the other outstanding results of the season, alongside the Villa Liverpool game, and of course the Leicester City game as well. Do you think there's some weaknesses in this Chelsea side, because the defending was very poor? Jorginho had an absolute shocker as well. So do you see any sort of chinks in their armor where they could get exposed tonight?
Yeah, for
Kabir,
sure. I mean, I
okay.
think, yeah, I
Yeah, sorry,
lost you
go on.
there for
You
a
just yeah,
second. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I was just waiting if you're done with the question. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
for
yeah, sure.
sure, number one, it's the worst possible result to come off the back of into a Champions League quarterfinal. What
Right.
happened on the weekend against West Brom, or as I like to call them, Brazil B. But yeah, I mean, it sort of ended the honeymoon period for Tuchel, and now it's gonna start to get a bit tricky because, like you mentioned, the new manager bounce was in full effect for them, and yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I was thinking that maybe just like Chelsea's defense, even Porto's defense is super underrated. I think you mentioned the City playing them before. I don't think they conceded in any of the other group stage games that they had. I think it was something like 5 clean sheets out of 6 in the group stage, and even against Juve, they did for periods defend really well. So, and of course they're led by Pepe. So it'll be very interesting to see how he deals with Timo Werner, who's low on confidence, and or Kai Havertz, who hasn't really gotten firing this season. So I think that's the main area where I think they will be vulnerable to Porto, whether they'll be able to
Yeah.
break them down and get an away goal or two. So yeah, I think that's where the game could be won or lost.
Right. Of course, I totally agree with you there. There's a couple of comments. Of course, Anamaya letting me know that Leroy Sané's mum was an Olympic bronze medalist. Shout out to Leroy Sané's mum every time. Rishikesh Amin saying Uncle Sam with the goat emoji. Is that a reference that I don't get, guys?
It's
Am
West
I-
Brom. West Brom versus Chelsea.
Oh, right. Of
Ah,
course, Sam Aladici. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
Sam
big
Allardyce.
Sam.
Yeah, Big Sam. Uncle
big
Sam.
Sam.
I thought that's like a rice brand or something. Anyway, weird reference from me as well. Chinmay Khandekar saying, why not play Hudson Odoi? I'll ask you this, Aditya. Of course, Amok is sort of our in-house Chelsea expert, but I will ask you this from a neutral perspective. Of course, Chinmay Khandekar saying, why not play Callum Hudson Odoi, swap Mount in place of Jorginho and play Odoi? Okay, I don't know what you're looking to do there. Wait, if Mount plays in place of Jorginho, does Odoi replace Reece James or does he replace probably replace one of the forward players. Anyway, Aditya, what do you
I
think of
think
that?
he's going for a number 10 Hudson Odoi, and Mason Mount drops back a bit. I think that's what he's going for.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Um, I think Hudson Odoi is pretty. He either is really good or he's really bad. There's no in between for me. So and plus, they just want to. I believe they just want to get away with a win from here, not play for a draw or like get just a goal. They just want to go crazy and win it for me, Chelsea,
Yeah.
because again they don't want to give Porto any hopes of going to Stamford Bridge and doing something that's similar to what they did against Juventus. So no Hudson Odoi for me in that squad, in that lineup.
Fair enough. Amok, same question to you. What do you think?
So, I think the formation would change based on Chinmay's question because if we take out Jorginho, then there's not really a holding midfielder there. But
Exactly.
one thing I'd say is that, yeah, I mean, I would see Hudson Odoi coming on, but I would see him more swapping out with Reece James. I think maybe like last 20 minutes coming in as a wing back and creating those chances because we've seen that swap a lot under the Tuchel era. So I would guess that him swapping out for Reece James to make maybe some sort of impact. If it's let's say a nil-all draw and we're talking about the final 10-15 minutes, and I think he'd be the one to like cross from the wings. So I would see him play wing back, but I wouldn't swap Mount out because Mount is definitely in the best form. I mean, he's the player of the season for me. So playing him in such crucial fixtures, you got to take every chance you get, and yeah, he should produce today. So I think it would be good to see Hazard, Mount, and Werner really, sorry, Hazard, yeah. Mount,
That's what I was
Havertz,
thinking. What?
yeah. But those three up top, I hope we finally unlock the Germans, man. I mean, it's been up and down, but let's unlock them. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, that Hazard breakup thing made me laugh. Shashwat has a question as well. I'm going to address that. I mean, personally, I agree with Aditya in general, but I also think that Callum Hudson-Odoi has done really well this season, especially under Tuchel, but of course, even under Lampard, because whenever he used to come on the pitch, he used to kind of look like the best player. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi is a natural winger. Like, he's actually a natural winger. He's not an inside forward. He's none of those things, but I personally love Callum Hudson-Odoi's performance against, I think it was Everton, because like him and Werner were sort of interchanging roles, and especially on the left hand side, I think Odoi was fantastic, and I actually love to see him play that role. Mount, of course, in that deep lying role again, he puts in a lot of work, but would you like to play him in that role? I think N'Golo Kante is the only answer, and if there's no N'Golo Kante, there's no one really. I don't think Jorginho just has the defensive awareness or the engine to operate in that role alone. So it's kind of a weird situation for Chelsea. They should have probably bought Declan Rice, but hey, Lampard lost his job over that, so I don't think we should talk about that. Let's address Shashwat's comments, and then again, guys, we will predict the score. Shashwat, who is a Chelsea fan, asks, "Will Werner be today's Vinicius Junior?" Kabir, do you think Werner will be today's Vinicius Junior?
I mean, I've been bigging up Werner since like 2018, 19. It's been a while, and I think we're all
Yeah.
waiting for him to explode onto the scene and announce himself for Chelsea. I think he can do that, but I mean, he's not shown any signs this season. So
Yeah.
again, we don't know. Vinicius had 5 goals in 9 months before yesterday, so we don't know who will, randomly take up the fight and then produce. So I think, yeah, definitely Werner can do it. Will he do it? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think Vinicius, at least for both the goals, Vinicius had acres of space. I think if there's one thing Porto can do, it's defend, and they won't give Werner the space. And Werner's someone who relies on a lot of space. I think because of his speed and things like that. So I don't see it happening as well. Anyway, guys, we've hit the 40-minute mark, and it is 12:20, and I'm sure Amok just wants to go and watch the game. So, guys, quick predictions. Aditya, I'm going to start with you for this one. I'm sure you don't know many of the Porto players' names, so you don't have to predict a Porto score in particular. But anyway, what's your score, and who do you think will be on the score sheet?
I'm going for a 2-1 win for Chelsea.
Okay.
Mount and Werner, like Shashwat said, Werner might just explode today because it's time. It's been long. So I'm going for a Werner goal, and for Porto, I'm going for a Wilson Manafa goal.
Wow, kya baat hai. Wilson Manafa, amazing
I
knowledge, huh? Amok?
had him as my right back in a Football Manager save. So
Yeah, makes sense now. It makes sense now.
Yeah.
Amok, what do you think? What's going to happen?
I agree with the scoreline. I think that Aditya suggested. I think it'll be 2-1 Chelsea. I'm just praying that Werner really scores. I just really want a Werner goal, and I think Mount also will deliver. And honestly, I really don't care if Porto scores or not, but if they do, I don't really care who. So 2-1, I see that happening.
Fair shout. Kabir, same question to you. What do you think?
Okay, so I've got my thinking hat on for this one. So I've done the math, and Porto's two leading scorers, Sergio Oliveira and Mehdi Tarami, are both suspended. They both scored against Juventus.
Yeah.
Oliveira was the guy who made Ronaldo look silly with his free kick.
Right. Aditya smiling.
So, yeah. So I don't think they're going to score, and I don't think Chelsea are going to score either. So I'm going for a goalless draw.
Going for a goalless draw. Wow, so it's a bit of an upset in a sense, isn't it? According to you.
Yeah, I highly doubt it's going to happen because it's a quarterfinal first leg. There's a lot at stake, and someone has to try and force the win. But I think Pepe masterclass and Porto don't really have anyone up top other than Musa Marega. So I guess it's a goalless.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for telling me the Sergio Oliviera thing. In the link in the description below, I have put Sergio Oliviera's name. So brilliant from me. Great research done by me. Again, you know what? I'm getting a weird vibe from this game. Like, obviously, logically, I want to say Chelsea. I don't know. I'm just getting a weird upset vibe. Forget it.
This is the fan base that's always going haywire, man. We have.
I'm going to say it. 1-0 Porto. I'm calling it.
Yeah,
and I'm
what?
saying,
oh God.
Even I thought about it, and there's always this one sort of weird team in the semi-finals. Lyon, Monaco, Ajax, Roma, all like over the years. So I think there could be something in this.
I'm saying it. It's either Pepe or Mbemba. One of those guys is going to score a header, and I won't even be surprised if Jorginho misses a penalty because of his terrible run up. So yeah, I'm saying it. Porto 1-0. I actually want to see it happen as well. I don't want to see the same teams in the quarterfinals in the semi-finals. Sorry. So forget it, man. I'm saying.
I thought you were my guy, Srini. I really thought you were my guy,
dude. All my friends know. Kabir knows as well that I actually like a lot of the Chelsea players. I watch every Chelsea game.
Yeah,
I don't dislike Chelsea at all. I love Reece James and Mason Mount, and Kovacic is probably my second favorite midfielder in the Premier League. Like after Gundogan and all of that. So yeah, I was actually planning to get a Kovacic jersey, like a Croatia jersey. So yeah, mental. But anyway, Shashwat will last comment. It's that or we lose 5-2. I don't think that's happening. Come on, but I mean we hope it does because
never say never.
Yeah, never say never for real. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Of course, we appreciate all the comments. There were so many today as well, so we love the interaction. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me on the stream today. Of course. Guys, check the link in the description out below. You'll see amazing articles from all the boys on the website. Amog wrote a recent article on Thomas Tuchel as well, so you should go and check that out. Of course, subscribe to MTAC TV. As I mentioned, we've changed the name of the channel. So type MTAC TV on YouTube and you will find us. What else do I plug? Oh yeah, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all of that good stuff. And